Hi guys, we're here with Brett from the Ethereum Cat Herders. So we're going to talk about what that means. It certainly shocked me when I heard that term. So thanks for joining us, Brett.
Thank you, Alex. Good to be here.
So what does an Ethereum Cat Herder do?
The Ethereum Cat Herders was founded in January of this year. We're basically a bunch of project managers from the Ethereum community. It's a grassroots initiative, if you like, with some backing, I guess, from some guys within the Ethereum Foundation. Probably at the end of last year, we had some issues with Constantinople going live. We've also had some other issues within the foundation, just basically because Ethereum has grown so quickly. Yeah. It's 4 years old. It started with a group of about 3 guys 4 years ago who were just killing it and pumping out code and hitting goals and deadlines and so on. And as it's grown, we've landed up with organizations from all over the world, individuals that are getting paid by the foundation, people are not getting paid by the foundation, people working for organizations such as Parity or Consensus. And so it's just become this huge dynamic of multiple people with lots of agendas, lots of ideas. And perhaps, if you like, the idea came in that we're kind of the cat herders of all these cats.
There needs to be more coordination because it's so global now. Yeah. Exactly,
and that's been the problem in Ethereum up until now, is that the growth has been so great, and it has been exciting. It's been a very exciting journey, but it's meant a couple of things have started slipping, and perhaps some of the communication hasn't been the best when
as you mentioned, in the Constantinople hard fork, and we're going to do the testnet, then there wasn't enough miners supporting the testnet, and that all just comes down to basic communication, as you were saying.
Exactly. It's just coordination and communication, and at the end of the day, the Ethereum project is a project. It's meant to be a finite activity, and then we move on to something new like Ethereum 2.0, Ethereum 3.0 when that comes along, and we're constantly improving, and so to ensure that we're smoothing out the edges, somebody like the Ethereum Cat Herders needs to come in and herd the cats and make sure that we're all on the same page, everyone's discussing and using the same language.
So what are a couple of the biggest projects or things that keep you busy, and maybe a couple of things that excite you most about what's happening in Ethereum?
Yeah, so the Ethereum Cat Herders have been given the awesome task of trying to figure out or at least manage the audit for ProgPower. That's been a pretty controversial issue within the Ethereum community. There's a lot of discussion about it, whether it was approved or not approved.
For those at home, program proof of work is whether or not we want to implement ASIC resistance on the Ethereum chain while it remains as proof of work.
Exactly. So the Ethereum core developers have given us the task of trying to manage that audit. So we're raising funds for that at the moment. If you want to give some funds, please feel free to do so. There's a Gitcoin fundraiser going on at the moment. But also we're looking at coordinating the hard forks. There's discussion that's going to be happening soon over in Berlin just with regards to timings of the hard forks, whether we start having smaller hard forks where we implement 1 or 2 ERPs, or whether we continue with the idea of having larger hard forks.
Saving them up and doing it all at once.
Exactly. And there's benefits to both, I guess, but if we want to start moving Ethereum a little bit quicker, perhaps the smaller hard forks where we implement 1 or 2 ERPs is probably the way to go, because it means testing is a little bit easier. We don't have to focus on multiple ERPs, we can focus on one, etc.
And I think that's probably the way to go. If we do lots of little ones, it's less likely to have these big contentious hard forks and new chains split off every time, because we're seeing how hard it is, particularly in big chains, to get hard forks across the line.
Absolutely, exactly right. And then, I mean, just recently we had a discussion with the Ethereum 2 group of people, and they're working really hard at moving forward with client testnets and so on, and there's been some discussion about potentially the Ethereum Cat Herders getting involved with assisting with building a multi-client testnet. We won't build it, we'll just do the coordination around that. So.
Well, there you go, you've learnt what an Ethereum Cat Herder is. Thanks for joining us, Brett.
No worries, thank you, Alex.
Cheers.
Take it easy.